I heard lots of interesting truths from so-called spiritual people, but then saw their lives never match their truths. And then, as I started to get older, realized that science was where I would go find my truths about life. And yet, my papers were published in very prestigious journals, and the results were very clear. It wasn't even ambiguous. It was that the fate of the cells was primarily determined by the environment that cells find themselves in. Genes are not controlling our biology. When we get issues running in families, for example, cancer, we immediately look at a genealogy chart and mark all the recipients of this cancer running through the family, and then turn around and say, look, genetics, this is running in the family, so there must be cancer genes. What they've left out of this very interesting piece of research that reveals that when children are adopted into families that have cancer, the adopted children will express the cancer with the same propensity as any natural child in that family. But the interesting fact is the child comes from totally different genetics that doesn't even have that cancer. So it says being introduced into the family dynamics, which is where you learn perceptions and beliefs and attitudes, is what shapes the cancer, not the genetics that somebody came in with. When I used to teach in medical school, I taught the conventional dogma that genes were programs that controlled our lives. But the new understanding called epigenetics reveals that the genes are actually controlled by the environment, or the organism's perception of the environment. We perceive ourselves as single individual entities. The truth is we're actually comprised of upwards to 50 trillion individual living cells. Each cell is like a citizen in a large community of 50 trillion entities in one population. In the community of cells that make up the body, if the leadership is off, it causes a disturbance in the function of the population, which results in a state of disease. If we change our perception, then we can change our gene activity. Our illnesses are not necessarily programmed in our genes, but they are responses to the way we perceive our environment. You can't change your genes, and since your genes control your life, then you're a victim to those particular genes. That is the message that conventional science has been teaching. And the issue is, that's totally false. And quantum physics says, if you don't understand that invisible field, you can't ever understand what's happening in the body. Max Planck, one of the founders of quantum physics, talked about this invisible shaping field and gave it the name the matrix. If we could ultimately get rid of fear in our population, then basically we would put all of our reserves, all of our energy, and all of our body systems into the mode of growth and maintenance, and therefore not only would we be healthy as individuals, but then as a community, all healthy individuals in the community would raise the level of life of that particular community, so that there's this great possibility of a future of growth and peace and harmony once the concept of fear is removed from our belief system.